Welcome to Nitpicking Nerds, and it's time to talk about cards that have great prices right now.
It's the Commander cards most worth buying.
Wow! I'm your host, Joe Cherries.
I'm your host, BZ, joined by Amber, and that makes us the Nitpicking Nerds, bringing you daily Commander videos. If you want to support the channel, the very best way to do so is to go to patreon.com and join the ranks of the people currently scrolling on screen.
Yes, and you become the patron of the evening, like Evening Hat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Patron of the evening.
Patron of the Evening Hat. His name is Evening Hat, if you're wondering what's going on here.
The channel is also, if you want to support the channel indirectly, you can go buy the cards you want on TCG Player through our affiliate link. And then once you check out, they see that you started with our link and they give us money.
Yeah, all you have to do is start with the link and then you spend no extra money and we get a kickback for supporting this channel. You can also use dragonshield.com. Go there, buy the best sleeves in the multiverse.
Good sleeves.
And once you have those sleeves shipped to you, well, we're going to get a kickback based on the amount of sleeves you ordered. So thank you.
Yeah, and this channel is sponsored by Maraschiello. And I know what you're thinking. I'll be able to figure out where the mid-roll ad is. No, you won't. Shut up about it.
Quick little side thing before I say happy birthday to everyone whose birthday is today.
Which is done.
Now that I've said it, somebody in the comments, I think for the past 9 videos, has been trying pre-guessing with a timestamp where the Maraschiello ad is, and it's great. He missed by like a minute today.
If you ever win, we'll tell everybody.
It's pretty funny. Pretty funny. So here we go. This is cards that are most worth buying. Now, before in the past, we've done Wooberg order. We've done them kind of equally, but I just want to do the cards that I think when I see it, I'm like, that's worth picking up at that price.
In the order we thought of them.
In the order, this isn't the order we thought of them. I put these in the order of least expensive to most expensive. I thought that was
Never mind.
I thought that was a good way to go about it because then, if you really like cheaper cards, you can kind of stay around for the beginning. Or if you're like, I want some like 10 plus cards, you can go toward the end of the video.
Yeah, so let's just get it rolling. We got Rhythm of the Wild, $1.43. 3-mana enchantment. Your dudes have riot, so they can have haste or counter, and then the creature spells can't be countered.
Yeah, creature spells can't be countered. Pretty nice just to have, considering the card is good without it.
It's already functional.
It is a functional card without it. Rhythm of the Wild was creeping up. I think it hit 3, 4, maybe approaching $5.
Even more, yeah.
But it got a nice reprint in the Kamigawa.
Precons.
What was it? Something Unleashed. Upgrades Unleashed.
Precon,
yeah. So it got a nice reprint there, down to $1.43. Now's just the time to get it. Just go out, buy a Rhythm of the Wilds, and have it for your deck. This is so good. In the decks where it's functional and it's a decent card, it's amazing.
You really want haste. These Gruul decks, they all want haste. And this is one of the many ways to do it. And all of the different ways are like best for a certain type of deck. So if you got big, clunky, non-token creatures, boom, here you go.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a big fan of Rhythm of the Wild. Next is a card that I am shocked is so low because I think it's very good. It's Aerial Extortionist and is about $1.80. About $2 if you really want to round up. It is a 5-mana flyer. It enters, it exiles a permanent, a non-land permanent, and then they can just cast it from exile. But whenever they cast something not from their hand, meaning commanders or that card is exiled, you draw a card. I think this card is great. I think it's severely being underestimated at only $2. And
yeah, we had that other card, the enchantment that it's like $40 now with the raccoons on it. I'm trying to think of what it is, but this card is like, I look at this and I'm like more hyped about this. This is like a creature, ETB, it even hits people and does it again. You're already getting a static card draw off everybody's commanders or flashback or whatever, or stopping them from playing it if they don't want to give you a card. I think this thing is like the full package, and I'm happy to have it for less than $2.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said with this, it being a creature is really relevant. White loves creatures. Smuggler's Share, fine card. It might even be a great card. I don't know.
That's what it is.
I haven't played it yet. I haven't tested that card yet. But I'll tell you what, if I have to make a choice on any sort of budget, I'm putting Aerial Extortionist in my deck way before I'm ever touching Smuggler's Share.
Well, I'll tell you what the better deal is, and we just talked about it.
It's not even close. Yeah. It's not even remotely close. Next, a card we've talked about in the past for sure, but it keeps getting precon reprints, so it just keeps staying at a reasonable price. And this is one of the best draw engines for green creature decks. It's Beast Whisperer, currently $2. I mean, I don't need to say much more. It literally is one of the best ways to draw cards in green creature decks that we have.
Elf Ball, little tiny tokens, whatever you want to do, as long as you're trying to spam creatures, you got like 30 plus creatures in your deck, and you can cast multiple spells in a turn. This is an amazing card draw spell.
Yeah, because something that you look at Guardian Project that's not getting the reprints. That's up at $10. this card would just be matching that price
Probably.
if it wasn't for the reprint. So this being $2 is totally worth getting. You should just have Beast Whisperers sitting around. Have extra Beast Whisperers, because every time you build a green creature deck and you want some card draw, this is a great way to go.
It's a super mega staple, and we're not saying with any of these cards, it's like, oh, this is the time to speculate and buy some. It's like, no. At the price all these cards are at, they're just super worth buying for Commander.
Yeah, they do. This isn't the go buy these because you have a ton of money and you should invest and they're going to go up. No, this is for $2. The effect you're getting is insanity. Always remember that. We're not trying to tell you to speculate on these cards.
This isn't like Market Watch. It's just like, hey, Beast Whisper, really worth $2. I want to get one now while I know it's worth it.
Absolutely. Agree with you 100%.
If I'm looking for one.
Exactly. It's such a good card. Up next is Urbrask the Hidden. 5 mana, your creatures have haste. Opponent's creatures enter tapped. Super simple card, but it's currently $2 due to a list reprinting, which is amazing. This card is super strong, and I think very underplayed in the Commander format.
You're right in that middle power level, like the perfect battle cruiser type card everybody's looking for. Disrespectful. $2 for a Praetor? Come on.
This card, it's a good card. And I think this is like the second or third best Praetor.
Yeah, the ones like Vorinclex isn't that crazy. He's not, unstoppable. This is just one of the ones that kind of sticks in play, and it's just really good.
Yeah, he's super solid. I mean, $2 is really cheap, and there's only one version that's worth $2. So you have to get this cheap version. It's going to meet the others in price. It's going to go up to $5, $6, $7, and you're just going to be like, why didn't I get it for $2 when the Nitpicking Nerds told me to?
They're always right about everything. I will say, we have a very good track record of when we say something's worth buying, later on, we go look back and we go, that thing went up in price. Guess it was worth buying.
Guess we're geniuses.
Sky Shroud Claim, Commander staple, one of the best ramp spells ever. Goes and gets 2 4s. They come in untapped because this card is great. It's only $2.50. I need it for every non-creature green deck I play.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're playing a creature green deck, this is usually one of the 2 or 3 non-creature ramp I tend to put in my deck. It's super strong. The fact is, you can get untapped forest, meaning this will essentially only cost you 2 mana, paying back 2 of it right away, especially if you can use it. It's also fixing, because you can get non-basic lands. Now, we're talking, this is $2. If you want to talk about budget, you can get, the snow lands. You get some tapped snow lands. But if you're not on a budget, then, you can get shocks. You can get dual lands.
Or you just mono green, you just get forests. Man, if Explosive Vegetation is it's okay. It's a card people play. What if it was just 2 mana less every time? You just got 2 mana after you Explosive Vegetation every time.
Then you would have Sky Shroud Claim and you'd be very happy.
And it'd be worth it. Let's go to Prismari Command. For 3 mana, you're either shocking something, making a treasure, making somebody draw 2, discard 2, or destroying an artifact. And I think all of those add up to a very playable Commander card. You're getting bailed out by destroy an artifact. There's always an artifact. 2 damage, kind of whatever. You're not using that. But then the draw 2, discard 2 if you need to find something. And make a treasure just kind of gives you and stores the mana for next turn when you're already getting somewhat of a spell's effect from the other thing you chose.
It picks off small creatures. The shock is relevant for any little utility creature that might be annoying on the battlefield. And then you're going to loot when you need to, make a treasure when you need to, and you just get enough out of whatever 2 you pick. It's almost like any 2 is worth an entire card, and it tends to be very good. I mean, $4, I look at something like Kolaghan's Command, and I think it's very similar in power level.
Especially since there's modes of both cards that are the same. I don't like that. But personally, they're the best commands. They're some of the most flexible instants in the format.
2 of the modes are the exact same.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
You can Shatter Shock on both of them, which is turns out Shatter is the thing that kind of pushes it up.
Yeah, because Shatter is always a playable Magic card. What do we have after that, BZ?
Well, we could go to Professional Facebreaker. It's brand new. It's $4.50. It's a 2/3 menace. Your creature's hitting gives you treasure tokens for each player you hit. And then you could sack treasures to just impulse draw now. And people were really hyped up about this card. And I'm kind of surprised it's so low, considering it's so obviously good and everybody knows it.
It's a commander card, and I think that at $4.50 it's totally worth getting. There are so many different little decks that are sneaking through combat damage, hitting all the time, and then any treasure deck on top of this, now this is amazing. Ooh. It's really good for those creature decks that are sneaking in hits. Add in the fact that, I care about treasures now. I have synergies with treasures. This card's amazing for that.
Yeah, I think this is one of those that is going to be lower, because Standard just came out and everybody opened 1,000 Capenna packs, and most people don't even care that they open Professional Facebreaker. And then you talk to me in 3 months and we go, oh man, I wish I would have bought Professional Facebreakers. Yeah,
exactly. Professional Facebreaker is definitely a great red card. One
of the better red cards, just ever, right, in Commander. Like, it's up there. Red's not very good.
It's probably in the top 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get there eventually doing top 100 red cards.
Yeah. Blue's coming out later this month. Get ready.
We got Grove of the Burn Willows. It's a land. You're tapping for colorless, or you're making red or green to have each opponent gain a life. Turns out it's an untapped duel that provides fixing and asks really nothing of you. It's pretty trivial to once or twice a game give each opponent 1 life. I'm not too worried about that. And for $5.50 or $6, depending on the version, get in my red decks. Get in my green decks.
The $6 version is the expedition that they did from the Zendikar Rising.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it's $6. It looks cool, and it's only $6. It's just a totally untapped dual land. I'm in at
Don't worry about that life gain.
If you're playing a red green deck up to at least 2 or 3 color red green deck, in my deck every single time.
Yeah, don't skip on this one. You promise, especially since you're Stompy, the 2 life you give out doesn't matter. Just don't tap this 12 times for red mana. You don't need to do that.
But it's there if you need it. Right. So it's like that's not ideal. You're giving out a lot of life. But guess what?
Better than it being a forest and you don't having red.
If this was yeah, exactly. So it's like sometimes it's just going to bail you out, and sure you have to give away 3-4 life sometimes. That's not going to make or break the game almost ever.
Yeah, Cathar's Crusade's going to break the game wide open because you're about to destroy everybody. It's whenever your creatures enter, all your creatures get +1/+1 counters. It goes infinite. It just creates dominating board states. You can win out of nowhere with it. $6.50. I think that's pretty appropriate. This thing was $1 back in the day, and everybody realized this card's really good, and it ends games on the spot.
Yeah, I mean, this is an insane card. It's a card that I'm just, when I need finishers in my really go wide creature decks, this is a go-to, an absolute staple of that kind of deck. Am I playing a tokens deck? Okay. Am I playing a counters deck? Okay, this is one of the best ways to finish. On top of just being go wide creatures, beat your face in with like 20/20s. It also, like you said, has combos.
Like multiple different combos. I know Gave has some combos with this thing, and Basri's Lieutenant has combos with this.
There's combos all over the place. This is just a very strong combo card. So the fact that it combos and it'll fit in your combat metas, I'm in for it all day. $6.50, not expensive at all. Just give me Cathar's Crusade.
Did you say combo?
Did I say combo? I did say combo.
What about Protean Hulk, the comboiest combo creature in the world? $6.50. It's 7 mana. When it dies, you win the game. That's what it says. Unless you don't feel like it, or your deck isn't capable of that, and then you just get the best things in your deck and you go ham, and people just can't stop you. You recur this, you do it over and over again. You just run away with the game for 7 mana. So worth $6.50.
No, this card is absolutely ridiculous. I don't think you play this one. I've tried the value Protean Hulk. I don't like it. I will say this is a combo card. I think you put it in your deck when you're going to combo with it, and it's amazing, and it is worth $6.50 every single time. Don't buy this to value. I don't think this is worth $6.50 as a value card.
Like, to sacrifice it and then pass the turn.
To sacrifice it, get like a 6-drop and then pass. It's like, I don't think that's very strong. I don't think that's what you want to be doing with this card. But if it's your combo piece, if it's your win condition, it is obviously worth $6.50.
One of the strongest, I think it's just one of the strongest cards in the format, period.
Right. In this next one, we went a little out of order because I realized now at the bottom there was one called Lethal Schemes that is $3.
I was hoping you wouldn't notice that I added that until the end.
It destroys target creature or planeswalker, and all that's whatever, but it has Convoke, which means you can just tap for your creatures and destroy target creature for 0 mana. Now that would be a great card. But there's more. This card just keeps on giving because every creature that you tap to convoke this connives, meaning you draw the discard, and if you discard a non-land, they get counters. This is just free looting, free destruction spell. This card is amazing, and I don't know how it's only $3. It is a 0 mana piece of interaction in Commander.
It's we look at, I think Deadly Relic is better than this card. I think Snuff Out probably a little bit better than this card. But when you cast this card for free, it is way better than both of those cards. And as long as you build your deck to do that, you're going to be probably hitting, 75% of the way there. So you're maybe tapping 1 mana for this, or you're going to have to wait a turn to get 4 creatures in play. Then you cast it for free, and you just feel like you can't lose because, I just put all the creatures I want in my graveyard, just got some value, just drew 4 new cards, looking at all this stuff. Oh, and I got to connive, and some of my creatures got counters. It just does everything. $3? Yeah.
Yeah, you just said everything the card does, except you didn't mention it. You also destroyed the biggest threat on the battlefield.
And you answered something.
Obviously.
You also can pass the turn with just creatures, and they're not going to be able to play around it.
All right, now we got to get back to normal because we just skipped around on prices.
But you actually, before you do that, you made a second error. you left off the most expensive one, which is actually priceless, which is actually Maraschiello.com, the best way and the most priceless way to build a deck on the internet. On the internet. I just like Randy Savage that. But you gotta go there because it's free, right? I said it's priceless, but it's also free because those guys are just giving away value to you. And if you don't build a deck and take advantage of all the super fancy features, you're just missing out. I can't help you.
Yeah, I'm currently building a deck that can only have cards 79 cents or less. So I'm using all of the, hey, use the cheapest version, switch it over, and I can look through my deck and make sure every card is 79 cents or less.
Because we were invited to Tier 1 Con in Sweden.
Yes, exactly.
And we're going.
And there's still a Maraschiello thing on the screen. Erase it. Yeah,
we don't have that technology.
I don't have that technology. It just disappeared.
Yeah, let's go to...
No transition. It's gone.
It's gone. Let's go to number 12. It's round 2, a.k.a. Seize the Day. This is the Secret Lair Arcane League of Legends thing. It's only $6.50, which does not match... We do this all the time. This does not match the $10 price tag of the actual card. So get the Seize the Day round 2 one with... Vi on it, and then you're just saving money on a great card.
Yeah, it's a really, really good card. When Secret Lairs release, and I try and put a couple of these on here when I do this, when Secret Lairs release, we get to have a moment or a week or two or a month or two where certain cards don't end up matching their price because people are just trying to sell off the Secret Lair. And obviously, if you can just buy Secret Lairs and sell them off for way more every single time, well, then people would just be buying money, which you can't do. So, obviously, some of the cards stay lower. Like, Ristic Study's up at 30. Seize the Day can't also be up at 15.
Right.
Because otherwise, why didn't everyone buy 30 of that Secret Lair?
Exactly. So, yeah, Seize the Day is one of the ones from this one. You know, we've done Dak Faden before, Craterhoof before. It was all true. And you can just check those cards right now. They're higher than when we said they would be. The exact same thing's going to happen with Seize the Day, except... it's only going to go up a little. It's like $4 or $5. But if you're trying to buy a Seize the Day, go get the Vi version.
This card is really, really strong too.
It's powerful. You're going to kill people.
If you have a any type of Voltron type strategy, this is one of the best ways to just become a finisher.
If your 7/7 commander hits once, Seize the Day is game over for somebody. It kills somebody.
It's a very, very strong card. I've been playing it in my Lelia deck. Love it.
Whew. Yeah, Zakama, also a gigantic monster. 9 mana, untaps your lands. You just get a slew of activated abilities that you can just spam until this thing goes away. $9.50, that is a much different price tag than I remember. I remember like 2030.
Well, this is a list card. Another one that, because it was put onto the list, and the list is actually affecting prices now.
That's great, by the way.
Which is great. We love to see that cards are actually getting cheaper because of the list, which wasn't true in the past, but it's becoming true now. Absolutely awesome. Zakama was up, I think, $25, $30. It
was in that range.
And I think it's still, the other ones are 20 still. And this is $9.50.
You know what that means?
Zakama is incredible. If you have the home for Zakama, then this is the easiest pickup ever. This card dominates board states and wins by itself at times.
Yeah, and it also has combos. I mean, look at the text box and tell me there's no combos with that. There it just is.
Yeah, exactly. It's Cloudstone Curio is going to go in.
I was going to say Temur Sabertooth, the land that bounces your commander back to your hand.
All of that stuff. There's a million different little ones.
Yeah, Branching Evolution. This card has been pretty dang good, and we're actually going to have to buy one real soon because we need one for the Commander Cube. It's $10, and it doubles all the +1/+1 counters you put on stuff. When I'm playing counters, I like this. I like Hardened Scales. I like Pier. I like those types of things, more low to the ground. I'm not really trying to get Doubling Season for various reasons. I think this is a really good stand-in for $10.
Yeah, and these effects are not cheap. Every single version of these effects are worth a ton of money. Even Pier is $15.
If something says double, you're going to pay a premium.
Or even just the Hardened Scales is $13. This is a double for 3 mana, and it's going to go up. This was a exclusive to, what is it called? Jumpstart card, and it's just going to keep going up because we don't know when we're going to see a reprint. Obviously, if we see a reprint, this goes down. But at $10, getting a double effect in the right decks, this card is completely just over the top good. You're going to love it.
Yeah. Strip Mine, you may have heard of it. It's like the most playable land in the entire format because you're going to have to destroy all the BS lands your opponents play. It's $15.50, or I'm assuming the Expedition version is $22.50.
Yes. So with Strip Mine, I think every single deck that isn't on a budget
could/should play it.
3 colors or less, I think it's 100%.
Kind of need it.
It's just it's just a free roll. I absolutely want this. You get a certain number of utility slots, and this is one of them. I love having a strip mine in my deck. I'm going to use it for mana 95% of the time, and then 1 out of 20 times.
Saves your bacon.
You just have to get rid of a Cabal coverage. You have to get rid of an Urborg.
Gaia's Cradle.
Nykthos. There's so many different lands. There's like Volrath Stronghorn, Hall of Heliod's Generosity. They're all over the place. These lands need to be destroyed, and having removal in a land slot so that you're not actually, the opportunity cost is next to nothing. I'm super in. I love Strip Mine, and honestly, we need to buy more because I don't have it in all my decks only because we don't have enough.
I kind of don't like the old Antiquities versions, the one with different artworks. I'm just not a huge fan, and they're like white bordered. I was interested in getting more of the Expedition versions. I'll pay a little bit more of a premium for like black border, super neat looking, very modernized version.
Be nice to get a reprint of this on Double Masters.
Ooh.
That would be an awesome reprint. I would like to see that.
That would be sweet. Toxic Deluge, what about that one?
I mean, it got a reprint in Commander Collection Black. It was raising up again. It was up near the 22, and then the Black Commander Collection Black reprint brought it down. It is now $18 for the cheapest version, and this is one of the best, if not the best board wipe in the entire format. So for $18, yeah, I'm 100% in to get this card. This is better than Damnation. That has always been more expensive than that. Damnation is like, I think $25.
At least $25 to $40. This card is probably the best board wipe in Commander, easily the most adjustable board wipe in Commander, where that can most frequently be one-sided or come out super in your favor. All you did was pay a couple life that you start with too much of anyway, and you get to choose what happens. And it's always 3 mana.
Toxic Deluge is, if you haven't played Toxic Deluge and you're worried that it's too much life to pay, I assure you it's not. I assure you that one out of probably like, let's say 15. That's going to be my estimate. You won't be able to cast it for what you need to actually use it for. That's rare. The other 14 times, it's the best board wipe in the entire format that doesn't kill your creature if you have the biggest creature.
I've seen people complain about having to pay 12 life to answer some indestructible Kozilek Ulamog thing. It's like, no. You got to spend 3 mana and exile and remove an Eldrazi and every creature from the battlefield and then deploy things first. That's really good.
It's like, yeah.
No one else can do that.
It costs you 12 life. But if you didn't have that card,
you're taking 12 anyway.
You're not necessarily taking 12, but the threat's there. It could be annihilating you next turn. It could be worse than taking 12. You could be getting annihilated and then taking 12.
Exactly. So let's go on to Sakashima Student, the best list reprint maybe ever, because that card was creeping up to $100. It was like 80 plus, and I'm sure it would be on its way to 100 right now if it wasn't on the list. It's a ninjutsu clone. That basically sums it up. Really good card in really specific decks. Much more on the $20 range than the $80 range. So if I needed one of these, couldn't snap it up faster right now.
I absolutely think that this is one where I'm saying get this now because you don't know how long something stays in the list for. There's not a set amount of time. They take it on, they take it off. So once this leaves the list, it stands to climb back up. And I'm not saying it's going to reach 80 again, but it is going to reach 40, maybe even 50, because the list is not it doesn't saturate the market. It does. It does saturate the market for a little bit while people are opening the product and it's being seen and they're getting out there. But as soon as they go back to nobody's opening them and then you realize, oh, there weren't that many actually added to circulation, and it makes a huge difference. This will creep back up eventually if it doesn't stay on the list but I don't foresee it staying at $20. I would be surprised by that.
I remember myself vividly saying, this card is $80. It was on our maybe Commander cards were least worth buying. I was like, do not buy this. It is not worth $80. Like, the card's fine. It's pretty good in those ninja decks. Not worth 80 at all. And I'm pretty sure we said something around 20. It's like, this is where I'm like, okay, time to upgrade this deck considerably. And if you held out, you save $60.
You need the right deck. You absolutely need the right deck. This is not you should spend $20 because it's a generically good card. No. It is almost ninja decks and little tiny. You're going to like it in something like, I'm thinking,
whatever plays 1/1 rogue unblockables.
I was thinking that was it Rigo?
Rigo, Edric, that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Any deck like that, this card is amazing. It does overperform. I've played this card plenty in my ninjas deck, and I spent $80 on it, which is way too much, and I regret it. But it is absolutely amazing.
Patience is a virtue. That is our lesson.
And I didn't learn it. Up next is Vampiric Tutor. This one's really simple. It's $32, and it is one of the best black cards in the entire format, if not the literal best black card in the entire Commander format.
It's possible.
This card is really, really good, and it saw a reprint in Commander Legends, which has been keeping it kind of low, which is very nice to see. 32, not too expensive for this card, but it does stand that we don't know how often we're going to see Vampiric Tutor reprinted.
Rarely.
It's definitely has to be a premium type product. It has to be like a Commander Legends type set. It has to be, maybe like
one of the chase rares of like a Masters set.
Something along those lines, so we don't know. And they can just choose to avoid this for 2 or 3 years. And then suddenly it's back up to $50, $60, $70. And CDH being as popular as it is and always gaining traction, these cards only stand to keep going up. So if you really need a Vampiric Tutor, I would suggest getting it right now because it's only $32 for, like I said, maybe the bested card in the entire format.
This is purely a power pickup too. I look at this card and I sleep. It just kind of, I've done it. I've been there. I've tried it. I am like so far removed from playing this card right now. Just as a personal thing, it's like, yeah, we're kind of straying away from tutors right now. And we're on the don't play Vampiric Tutor. We have 7 sitting in a trade binder somewhere plan. But if you don't have any and you want to play with it and your deck's getting powered up, now's a pretty good time to power it up.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. It is power, nothing else.
Yeah.
Next, Sensei's Divining Top. You know what Top does. I'm not telling you what Top does.
Don't even do it.
If you thought I was going to tell you what Top does, I'm not. It's $42 because of a list reprinting.
Still so much money.
It is. It is so much money, but this card has been $50, like $5, $60.
It's true.
Until this list reprinting, which has brought it down to $42, which is much more reasonable. It is $42 powerful, and especially if you're playing the Bolas's Citadel, this card slots in with Citadel every time. I think if you're building a deck and you really want the most synergy you can get, it'd be rare to put Bolas's Citadel and say, I don't want Top, unless you're avoiding power.
Yeah, it's really easy to include Top in a lot of Commander decks. I personally don't play this card almost ever, but I know that it is very playable. It goes in if you just want a Top, because I don't even think you need to check your decks. You'll find one that is like, oh yeah, I'll play Top.
Yeah, it's not even close. I mean, you could roll a dice. Say you have 10 decks, you could roll a 10-sided D10. Boom, 6 deck, put it in that one. It'll be good in that deck.
It'll function, yeah, for sure. Top, one of the more premium cards on our list. Still one of the most reasonable prices it's ever been at.
It's been at in a while. I mean, it was I remember back in the day, like when I first started playing 10 years ago, it was like a 10, 15.
Well, you want to go way back in the day, it was probably like $3 in standard or something.
It was probably so cheap.
Yeah, when it was in print.
All right, this last one. This is the most premium card on the list, and it is a reserve list card. BZ, what is it?
It's humility. It's humiliating to play against. It is brutal. It is not fun, but it is really good because it's a 4-mana enchantment. It says all creatures lose all abilities and are 1/1s. I am of the opinion lately that I think if this card was not on the reserve list, it would just be banned in the format because it ruins the entire core integrity of the game, which is let's build around creatures. And it just says, nope. So you basically have to have a non-creature answer. And in decks that play lots of creatures, they don't have any of those because why would they? They're building towards synergy and making their deck stronger overall. And it just hoses out everybody. It grinds the game to a halt. Nothing is happening until this thing goes away, and you have all the power.
Okay, so yeah, all that said, that's 100% true. Humility is a card that I don't suggest playing, especially if your play group's not okay with it. It leads to very miserable games.
Ask first.
It's not a fun card. I would avoid playing it most of the time, but it's a reserve list card, and its power is undeniable.
True.
In any sort of creature-based metas at all, if people don't care that you're playing Humility, you should play Humility in the right decks.
Oh, yeah.
When you don't have a large creature count, this is shuts it down. Do you have 10 3/3s? Well, let me just take your power from 30 to 10, and now every creature bounces off each other and dies.
The only chance you have of losing now is taking 21 hits from a 1/1 commander and dying that way. No ETBs, no statics, no death triggers, nothing.
At $82, I always think, is this card on the reserve list? Guess what? Before I did this video, I searched because I've checked this multiple times. I've checked this card more than once.
Did you never know?
I know I have. Well, yeah, because it's like $82. That seems so low for such a powerful Magic card.
Reserve list card.
Reserve list? It's gotta be. It can't be on the reserve list. It's only $82. Nope. It's on the reserve list. This is a monthly series, BZ. Mm-hmm. We do it every single month, and we tell you 20 cards that we think are the most worth buying for the month. So why don't you go back a month and check out what we said for April?
Do it.
Peace out, Tribe Scouts.